behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Nash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a great interview coming up shortly. But don't forget about the subscribe buttons and the bell buttons below you there. And you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way when you click those. And leave a comment on the comment section if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you there. And check out the description part because it will have contact info. And we'll have the contact info repeated again at the closing credits at the end of the show. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Dundalk, Maryland, we have Tim Miskimmon today. Another very talented artist. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So without further ado, let's start the show because the interview begins right now. Okay, here we are with the interview, and with us from Dundalk, Maryland, we have Tim Miskimmon, and thank you for coming on the show, Tim.
It's wonderful to be here. Certainly a thrill.
Yeah, I'm glad you're able to make it here. Well, tell us your story about how you started. I mean, everyone has their own story about how they got started in the music business. I'm sure you've wanted to be one ever since you were a little kid, but tell us in your own words.
I have cliff notes. Actually, I found out long ago, like when I was in 5 or 6 years old, that I was writing songs. When my mom would hear me out in the swing set singing, and she would ask me when I came in what I was singing, and I said, I don't know. I was just singing, little kid. And I realized when I was like 9, that I was making things up. Now, I thought everybody heard songs in their head at that time, what did I know? I was a little guy. My older brother brought me when I was like 9, brought me a little reel-to-reel tape recorder that ran off batteries. I couldn't play guitar or any instrument, and I could barely sing, but I made noise into the tape machine. And I was, a little while later, I realized, wow, I was writing songs. And I was influenced, always said that Elvis made me want to be a singer, and the Beatles made me want to play instruments. Mm. So, when the Beatles came out, I think guitar sales went up like millions of dollars, but so we all were inspired. And then when I was a teenager, we got a band together, and neighborhood friends. And then in the early 80s, we signed with Atlantic Records. Bad deal. It was publishing, and we went in the studio, but the record name never came out because there was publishing disputes. And so we played under the name Basement 4 for like 20 years. And then in the 90s, we signed with a German label. In America, it was called, oh God, I can't even remember what it was called so long ago. But anyway, that didn't turn out well neither. So, we put out independent releases, and we got a good fan base, and we did it for a long time. And I always loved the music, but I hated the business, because it always seems so darn cutthroat. And I just saw so many good bands a lot of bands in Baltimore at that time got signed, to label deals, and everybody got ripped. Everybody got ripped off, and it was like, it's terrible. The cool thing about what's going on right now is it's independent networks that are playing the record, lots of them, and I'm hearing such good music. I am so excited about what I'm hearing on the radio because, in my town, the radio around here is like beat, same old, and boring. And I'm hearing all these cool artists. And when I was a kid, radio in town here used to play, you would hear Stevie Wonder and the Beatles and Frank Sinatra. And, you would hear everything on one channel. And now you got to have this channel and that channel. And it's terrible. But the independent networks play everything. And I'm excited about what I'm hearing. I was like, you kind of lose faith because you keep hearing the same stuff and it gets stale. And I'm hearing such great music. And I'm like, I really am excited about what I'm hearing because I got new confidence in that people all around the world are listening to some really interesting stuff. And there are still great musicians out there, still good performers and great writers. So I'm excited about that. And I'm glad I'm into that now, because it, it's it feels fresh again, you know. And big business owns the majority of the major radio stations. And I find more and more these days people are looking elsewhere for music, you know. So anything that happens, like your review, your interview you're doing today, is like it's cool because you're helping us out. You're helping guys like us out, because we've been writing songs for a long time, me and my brother, and the music's getting heard, and because of the one single that's out right now, the we're getting our old music investigated. They're playing our YouTube videos. They're listening to, they're downloading our old songs. That some of them's been up there for 20 years or more. So it's neat. It's really neat, and I appreciate the undercurrent that's going on in radio, and on internet radio and over-the-air radio and in smaller markets. It's what it's about for me because I think that's where most of the originality is, in this in the independent music, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, and I know you mentioned a minute ago that you I guess you could say the Beatles were one of your influences, and who isn't influenced by the Beatles? Did you have any others that come to mind?
Oh gosh, the list is like way long. I mean, in all veins. I love orchestral music. I like R&B. I like country. I like rock. Our album we got out now isn't all country. It's being pushed that way because the first few singles are country flavored. But we're a rock band. Empire, Basement Floor, Sons of Raleigh. They were the three bands, and it's rock. And pop. And right now we have a completed easy listening album in the can, ready to be mastered. We don't quite know when we'll release it. And we're working on actually two albums that we never finished with the Basement Floor Band. And so it's a lot of music. It's hundreds of songs. It's recorded, and all we're doing now is finishing stuff that we weren't able to ever finish before. And, just the fact that COVID locked us completely down for that 18 months or whatever it was, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't go out and play shows. We do sound, I do live sound, I do audio. I'm a professional audio engineer. I record people, I do that kind of stuff. Couldn't do any of that. So me and my brother got together and we were like every day, just about for the longest while, coming down in the studio and just cutting track after track after track, and we both play multiple instruments. So we're able to do a lot of it on our own. But then for a lot of these songs on this album, we called like a pedal steel player in, a piano friend of mine named Julius, who plays great piano. We called him in. I've known him for 40 years. He's played on a lot of our recordings. And, just a lot of other things like that. And that's how it comes together. And we kind of been refreshed. If the only positive thing came out of COVID is that we got a new outlook on life and music. We've reevaluated everything, and it's fun again. Because sitting in the house doing nothing for all those months is kind of a bummer, really. So it's nice.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And just like you, I mean, we play all kinds of music. It doesn't matter what genre on our show, and you've probably seen that from past
Mhm.
episodes. And so it's always good to have a multi-genre, to kind of a thing about you. And so that's good to hear. Um, Anybody might want to, we're going to watch this video in just a minute, but before we get into that, though, tell us a little bit about how we can find your music. I'm sure it's on all streaming platform, but do you have physical copies? Tell us about social media.
Yeah. If you go, we have a social media thing just started. We just got into the Facebook. I was like anti-Facebook, anti-social media. It took too much time, but our record producer, I mean promoter, Stephen Wrench, what a great guy. That whole crew over there at Music and Films, they're fabulous. And he's helped me in so many ways. He told me, Tim, you got to get on Facebook. You got to do social media. And so we got the Miskimmon brothers on Facebook, and then we have Timothy Allen Miskimmon on Facebook, and more people go there than actually on the Miskimmon Brothers. And then we have MiskimmonBrothersMusic.com, which is our website. And you can go there and you can actually go to the streaming platforms, Spotify and Amazon and iTunes and all. But you can also buy physical CDs there if you want to. And they come directly from us, and it's not much on CD sale right now, but I know there's a lot of people still want them, so you're kind of obligated to get some pressed up. So that's what we did. It isn't in the thousands and thousands like it used to be, but there are people still buying them, just not on a large scale like before. It's got to be 10 or 15 to 1 versus downloads versus album sales, And we have had some people, funny enough, ask us, "You going to make vinyl?" I'm like, "Oh man, I don't even want to open that can of worms," because it's so expensive. It is unbelievably expensive now. And if you're a major artist, you can afford it, but not on this level right at this time, But it's exciting. I love it. I love music. And the neat thing about it is we're doing now what we set out to do all those years ago, is just record songs and have people hear them. It's up to the people, and that's what's happening. We're getting played all over the world now, and it's great. It's great that that we're finally getting to hear it, because we are getting older now, and then we're it ain't like it. I'm not going to go out and play 250 shows a year anymore like I used to, in the old days. But we're still out there doing the music, and every day or every other day we're in the studio recording new stuff. So looking forward to have people hear more of it.
Okay, well, go do that, as Timothy said there, and check out all those streaming media sites for, I guess you go by Miskimmon Brothers.
Yes.
And get all those MP3s or whatever from them, and I know they would love you for that. And this video we're going to watch, it's called "My Baby's Away." I'm sure it's self-explanatory, but is there a little story you want to say about the song?
Just this, that I wrote that song when I was 15.
Ah.
It was one of the first songs I'd written. And a real quick story. My father always used to come down in the studio after we were recording every night, and he would say, "Play me what you heard, what you were hearing, what you did today, And he would listen to it, go, "That's nice." He goes, "When you ever going to record that 'My Baby's Away' song?" And we said, "Oh, Dad, it's kind of old and all." And so we did it. We did it. And it's funny because we should have listened to Pop. We should have listened to him years ago. Should have put that on a record years ago. But and we're using some old stuff that we've written, and because that's what you do. You never stop writing if you're a writer. You always write, and the songs come in your head no matter where you are or what time of the day or night, and you just write the stuff. Some of them is 15 minutes and some of them takes 15 years to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we're at. So the album has half and half, brand new songs and old stuff. So it's kind of a cross reference of all of our stuff,
Well, it is a great song, and I know everyone out there, you're going to agree with that too. And we'll get to that in just a second. But Timothy, we want to thank you so much for coming today. Come back anytime you want to plug something new. We're glad to have you back.
Absolutely. And we appreciate it. Me and Mark both appreciate it.
Okay. Well, here it is, "My Baby's Away" by the Miskimmon Brothers, and it begins right now.
Sitting here in darkness, no one wants to go. She was supposed to call me, but here I am alone. I'm sorry to say, my baby's away. Now why is she like that? I treat her as good as I can. Why don't she just come out and say she's got another man? Or is it too much to say? been broken. I just can't take no more. I'm sorry to say, yeah, yeah.